Prepare to have your mind blown out of the back of your pants. From Studio City, California, you're listening to The Second Column with Joe, Mike, Carlos, and Sean.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Second Column, joined here by Mike Costantini.
Well, happy holiday season, everyone.
Yeah, it is the holiday season. Carlos Jaime.
Hello.
And we have a special guest, Jen Jones.
Looking for some mistletoe.
Oh, very nice. Jen is here because she is an expert in the topic of the column that I've written this week, and she just did her first shimmy. Jen is known in Los Angeles, and not amongst just a few people. She's known amongst all of Los Angeles as the shimmy queen.
Yeah, we should explain what shimmying is, though.
Jen, describe a shimmy.
Because I'll tell you, the first time I heard it, though.
Well, let's let Jen explain.
Well, yeah, but the first time I heard, I'm just telling you what I thought it was.
Okay, that's much more interesting than Jen.
I thought it meant, like, you know, when you're around a Christmas tree and you get that kind of Christmas warm feeling, you get all shimmy.
No.
That's what I thought it meant.
Right.
No.
Well, some people have likened it to a cup of hot chocolate, but
What is it?
See?
It's a booby shake, but it's all in the shoulders.
So it's when you shake
So
your...
the real secret is using the shoulders.
It's a
When I try to
shoulder...
teach people, I show them.
It's a shoulder-generated booby shake.
So basically, it's like
Exactly.
an airplane when the plane was in the turbulence and that woman's breasts were, like, moving back.
Yeah.
and
In the
forth,
movie,
right?
in the movie Airplane, they
Yeah.
actually she's shimmying. They actually
Yes,
say
except
that
no
line.
eggs come out of my mouth or anything like
Right,
that.
right,
I just shimmy.
Thank God.
Where did you learn how to do that?
Yeah, where's the origin of the shimmy?
Well, I have a background in belly dance,
Really?
never
as
knew
well
that.
as dance in general.
When was
so
can you remember the first public shimmy? The first time it made like a big splash?
I do. It was senior year in
Of
IOU.
college,
Joe and I
Ohio
went to
University.
Ohio U
Yes,
together.
Yes.
And my roommate Amber, who is a very tall, hot drink of water, I might add, taught me how to shimmy, and I passed on the legacy to my West Coast brethren
Yep.
and sisterin.
Yep. So now when I've been at a bar, I've been at a bar with Jen, and I've seen actually people, girls and guys, go up and just ask you to shimmy or shimmy to you, like as a hello, like you
Right.
just it's almost like an expression of hello.
I think it should be a new national greeting.
Yeah, women should shimmy when they see a guy.
Yeah, but like even in government, you know, high elected officials, you know, when they meet each other.
Would you like to see Dick Cheney shimmy up to Sarkozy in France? Is that,
Well,
is that a picture you want in your head,
It should
Mike?
be a rule like where women who are in politics should do it.
That's not demeaning. I think that's a great
Everybody
idea.
except Hillary Clinton. We don't
Right.
need Hillary to do it.
Right. Well, what woman in politics would you love to see
Yeah.
shimmy?
Janet
I mean,
Reno.
Elizabeth Dole, Janet Reno. Which one of the hotties are you?
Barbara Bush?
Barbara Bush.
The Bush twins.
The Bush. Bush
Oh.
Senior. George Bush is the original.
Well,
Yeah, Barbara.
That's Barbara.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Laura Bush is the one now. Yeah.
that's a good point. Maybe we should leave women out of politics, but everybody else should.
So
probably do it.
Mike's point is, if you're not a hot chick that can shimmy, you shouldn't be in politics.
Exactly.
Oh.
I'm willing to vote for Mike's platform.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know
so.
what party you're running for, but I'll cast a vote.
How
for that.
would a guy shimmy?
A guy can
Can I
shimmy?
can I add something here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
My friend Justin came up with a male answer to the shimmy.
Uh-oh.
Was it like?
And he calls it the PTs.
Uh-huh.
So whenever I shimmy, he
does a
starts pelvic
thrust,
thrusting.
Yeah.
Which is not very original. I think we need
No,
a
but
more original male
And
shimmy.
it's also a little, I don't want to say gross. Like if a guy just starts like
Yeah.
like a jackhammer pelvic thrust.
I've
Like,
done that.
yeah, but it's never been attractive.
It's more Travolta-esque. It's not really
I'd be
jackhammer.
more
Okay.
inclined to say the guy should do like a backflip or something.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, Mike. How many
Jesus.
backflips have you ever done?
None.
All right, then. We should do something attainable.
I did one on a trampoline once.
Yeah, I can admire the spirit of the pelvic thrust, but it still comes off a little gross. A shimmy is innocent and sweet. A
It
pelvic
is.
thrust is you know.
I have to say, I feel a little dirty when people take it sexually because it's really not about that. It's just kind of like a happy, happy, joy, joy thing.
Right.
Like Christmas.
Right.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Bringing it back
Mike's just gonna
already.
shoehorn
Yeah.
that in there. Isn't he? You're not gonna let that go.
he keeps plugging it.
He is. He really is.
Well, you know, just so you know, all of our listeners know, you know, I like to describe, you know, our,
Everything in Christmas term.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you know, like we have little Christmas lights in the background right now, and you know, it's a nice warm feeling.
Yes, it is, and we
A
are
shimmy feeling.
It's very
are-
shimmy.
We are getting into that spirit, so very good. Well, the topic that we're going to deal with tonight is actually Jen's an expert on multiple levels.
We should say too, Jen, like Joe, is actually a writer, and just some background. A funny thing that I find very funny is that her name is Jen Jones, and she used to work on the Jenny Jones show
How weird.
in Chicago.
And
Yeah,
True
she's
dat,
still
true
she's
dat.
still
maintains a relationship.
Yeah,
you still
have a
know her.
relationship.
You
I
still know
do.
her.
I partition her email for her. It's very exciting.
So you work. So
task.
Jen Jones still works for Jenny Jones.
I do.
Do people ever MySpace you mistakenly, or does that never come up?
No, but I do administer her MySpace. So
Okay.
She has a MySpace?
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is she anyway?
Studio City, baby. Oh, no,
li-
not Studio City. I was in Encino. She
Oh,
lives in
okay.
Encino.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
In the hills.
So yeah, Jen worked.
She's our neighbor
Jen
here.
worked for the show in Chicago,
Mhm.
and just did a lot of good stuff and got to meet a lot of people. Who
Right.
are some
a lot
those-
of baby daddies.
but didn't you get to meet some celebrities and some cool people there? Who'd you get to interview and talk to?
They were big on. Well, first of all, the rap stars. So like, I'd be like in the green room with Juvenile, Nelly.
Yeah.
Nelly,
Mystical.
Yeah.
Anyone whose name you've already forgotten from the 90s, I
Yeah.
interviewed at some point.
It's like,
And then
that's not arrested or in
like
jail.
people like Screech and like Christopher Knight, who played Peter Brady.
Yeah.
I think he played Peter Brady.
Did any of them do anything weird or any strange stuff? You know what I remember? Who's the guy who called you on Valentine's Day? Didn't
Skilo tried to ask out my office mate to go bowling. That was about it. He like came up to the
Skilo.
office. After.
No, somebody from one of the first reality shows, like one of those, like I'm a rich guy and
Oh my god!
Yeah.
The
Richard
remember
something?
the crazy thing where the guy was like, "Who wants to marry a millionaire?"
Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire?
And
Yeah,
the real creepy guy,
Yeah.
that one, or
Oh,
who was
yeah,
the
that
Bachelor
guy.
on that show,
The Bachelor
tried to get with me.
carried a torch for
He
our own
did, he
Jen
did.
Jones.
Wow.
Yeah, what were his attempts? What was his courting process?
I'd like to hear
Well,
this.
I interviewed him in the green room, and I think he took my email under the guise of me doing like a freelance story about him or something, and then he started sending smarmy V-Day greetings.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, I remember. I think you forwarded one of them to me. At
I
one
probably
point.
Rick Rockwell.
Rick
That was
Rockwell.
Rick Rockwell.
That's right,
Yeah.
Rick Rockwell. And was
Not
the-
to be confused with I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Well,
Who's just Rockwell.
That's just Rockwell.
Yeah.
I think it's the same guy.
It wasn't. I think even Rick Rockwell. There was even doubts whether he was an actual millionaire. There were stories that
Right,
came out like it was all real estate holdings. He doesn't actually have $1 million.
That's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
So yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, he was trying to get with Jen. So
Wow.
she had a chance
My
to.
brush with glory.
Yeah.
And you also you were in Vegas, right? With the drummer from Blink 182. Was that it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what were you doing? Like, how did you end up with that gig? It just sounded really interesting.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're getting onto this topic, but
That's
I like
okay.
it.
No, this is the nature of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all about digression.
Oh, yeah.
Got
Yep.
it. Okay. Well, I was working on the Academy of Country Music Awards.
Wow.
Which was
And,
weird that the drummer from Blink 182 would be
Yeah.
associated with that at all. But yeah.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. So he was doing a tribute to some country star that had passed away. He was going to do the drumming on that. It was
That's
like
cool.
a compilation of like Travis Tritt and different people.
Cool.
And so I guess he admired the guy that had passed away, who I don't
Right.
remember who that is. But I got assigned to be his escort, which isn't as racy as it sounds.
Right. You
No,
kind of like were his personal assistant.
I was his personal assistant.
Yeah,
for
they do that a
few
lot
days.
in the industry. They, basically you go out and you just assist with
Right.
whatever because they're
Jen's done
so
a lot of
busy.
it. Right. So any good.
Well, he obviously, you take one look at the guy, you can tell he's rebellious. But
Right.
when we were actually supposed to go do the show, he got to the show. Showtime was starting. It's a live show. And he went into the dressing room, and it was like a madhouse in there. There was like dozens of people. He's like, I don't want to be here, because he
Wow.
knew that his performance wasn't till like the third part of the show or
Right.
something. So he was like, I want to go back to the hotel, and they can come get me when
So he
you know
left
the,
the
so,
event.
Well, he left the event, and so I thought, my boss might want to know. So I texted her from the shuttle, and it brought out like the big dogs. Like it was like a search party warrant, and they're like, stay on him. And so we ended up like going back to the hotel, and I had to like stay with them everywhere. We're like smoking pot up in his. Well, I wasn't, but they were like up in his hotel room, and then we all went to dinner. And like my only job was to just be like
Make sure you can
attached
see
to him,
him.
to make sure he didn't escape.
Oh
so.
my goodness.
Wow.
And you know how production is. Everything's like a huge crisis.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right. How
But to
how
them-
how close did you cut it getting him back to the show?
He got back in plenty of
Plenty
time.
of time? Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's good.
But I felt pretty cool being attached to the
You know,
renegade train.
He always seemed to me not a very smart guy.
I mean, he has his
That's a
own
real-
clothing line. He's
I don't know, but he
you
just
know.
seems to me like a real dopey kind of guy.
I don't
guess.
really know too much about the guy. I mean, he's considered a really good drummer, like in the
I don't
punk
know.
world. I don't
I don't think he's that.
I think Blink 182 is a little overrated personally, but it's not my era of music really. Like they came out a little bit after when that early late punk era came out, which kind of changed.
Yep. So and actually, Jen's had a number of crazy personal assistant jobs. Didn't you? Your job was also to walk Sharon Osbourne's dogs at one point.
Wait, really? I've never heard about that.
I was more like a dog wrangler, actually.
Oh God.
Well, my real title was website producer, but what I didn't see deep in the bowels of the job description was the part where I had to take care of her Pomeranians, and my favorite story from that was I was the script supervisor for like the promos that we shot, the beginning of the show and everything, and Ozzy had this idea, like right when we were about to shoot it, and he got this great idea that he wanted to dress up in like a different outfit for every day of the week. So like they'd air the show on Monday, and he'd be in like, a cucaracha outfit.
Right.
Then the next day he's in like Marie Antoinette.
That's awesome.
So he
Smart.
sent out the costumer to go get all these costumes in the middle of the shoot. She brings them back. We shoot 5 different versions, and so we're in their master bedroom. And I'll never forget, one of them was like a dominatrix outfit.
Oh, no.
And so he's wearing like leather chaps and like suspended. He has a whip and everything. And I was like, the day I got my diploma, I never, ever, ever thought I'd be standing in Ozzy Osbourne's bedroom.
Did you ever
looking
talk
at him in his underwear?
Did you ever talk to him, or did you ever did you have conversations with the guy? And
I mean, he's really
so
smart.
Cool.
He's just super medicated.
That's so cool though. I mean, like,
How do I look? And
these
chaps, love.
I think that's way cool because he's such like an icon of rock and roll, and it's just to talk with the guy has got to be so cool.
Just to be one of the many, many women who has been in his bedroom.
To see him in his underwear.
A small thrill. To see him in his underwear in black chaps and dominatrix outfit.
Yes, Ozzy, you are human.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Well, we could probably do a whole podcast. And
I know.
maybe we'll have her come
Really?
back.
I was just
Maybe-
gonna say, like,
we could
I could do a whole podcast listening to all these.
We could do 45 minutes of just Jen Jones
Wow,
telling celebrity
thanks,
stories.
guys.
And I've told you this before, you have, like the last 10 years of pop culture, you've had a front row seat from the Jenny Jones show to freelance writing for all these different magazines and websites and all the different things that you do, to all the jobs you've had as website producer and personal assistants. Like, you've had a front row seat to the insanity of everything from Jenny Jones show to to the Perez Hilton world that we live in right now.
Right.
Working for working for I don't know, so many different.
You should have write it. Like, you should write a blog or
tell-all.
something. Yeah, or
Yeah.
You could
something,
write you could seriously write a book, just about all these experiences, and it would.
Except for all those confidentiality agreements.
that's
But,
right. Well, we did. Yeah.
I signed in, that ink that would like disappear, like
Yeah.
like when you were a little kid and you like
Oh,
signed in the
God.
lemon juice and
Yes,
then you knew it would go
the
away.
kind that you got from the back of the comic book, along with X-ray specs. Yeah.
Like Mr. Wizard would teach you how.
Yes, I know that. Very good.
That's what I signed to be here.
You signed with Invisible Ink?
Yeah.
Did you get my check yet?
No,
I used the same pen.
Oh, so smart.
Yeah,
You're like Ozzy.
I am. I am like Ozzy. I'm on my 4th outfit right now for the show. I keep changing.
Yeah.
If you guys can't see me at home, but I'm dressed like a bike rider with one of those German helmets with a little cross on top of it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's good.
It's a good.
You're a
look for me.
loner, a rebel.
I'm a loner, a rebel. That's the other thing Jen Jones is good for. If you ever want to quote movies from the 80s, that we just did Pee-wee's Big Adventure right there. She's the maestro. I think when you walked in tonight, within the first minute of you being here, we did the Vacation movie, European Vacation. We were doing quotes from that. So,
I was actually. I think I was watching a documentary on UFOs while you guys were doing that.
Oh, bro.
wow.
No, it's cool. Like, we got this TiVo thing, and the History Channel. The History Channel is doing all these things on UFO investigation. It's pretty cool.
That's great.
The bullshit channel.
Right. Okay.
Well, they used to do history.
Right on. Well, good, Mike. We're glad to hear what you were watching on TV before.
I was watching a.
Well, you guys are saying. I felt like
really good.
I should say what I was doing.
No,
as well.
that's really good.
I was watching porno.
We're very proud of you, Carlos.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to the column this week. Yeah, that's exactly what I think of your UFO story, Mike. We've got a very pretty girl in here. She's got a sense of humor, and you took it to UFO, something you were watching on TV.
Well, you guys
she's shimmying right now.
You guys took it to quoting.
Well, that's
old
because
movies.
it was active and it was in the moment.
Don't look at
Mike,
me.
what's your favorite 80s movie?
Oh, that's
E.T.
yeah, E.T. No, my favorite '80s movie is Better Off Dead.
That's a great.
You know,
movie.
my friend's married to the big fat guy.
The one that played Dennis.
Ricky.
The one that played Dennis on.
Dennis Blundgren.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it when people bring that up. Is that?
No, he does not.
I don't know. I wouldn't be. It's not a big show for a
probably
long
the
time.
thing he'll be the most famous for his whole life.
Then
so.
return the money then. If you don't like it.
Give the money back.
Yeah.
I'm with Carlos on that. So yeah, again, another Jen Jones famous
Random fact.
Random
Amazing.
We
fact
will have Jen
connection.
back, and we'll have a whole podcast.
We will
just
fully
devoted-
We're
explore.
bringing Jen back.
Oh yeah,
Those are the yeah.
we'll have a whole podcast just devoted to. You know.
Wow. Yeah, Jen is just content. You are nonstop. It's great. It's great. Well, very good. All right. So we brought Jen in because the topic of this week's column is something that is she's an expert at. I wrote about going to a speed dating event, which Jen hosts speed dating events. But not only that, it was a speed dating event for bald men and the women who love them.
Yes.
And Jen is a bald lover.
I am. I qualify. I once had 4 boyfriends in a row who were bald. And I don't know if we're going with the spirit of full disclosure here, but Joe was the first of those
I was the first.
people. So.
I said
No
the
way.
I
No
would
way.
like to. I would like
he
to
was
say
the
it too.
podfather.
I was the
Well,
the bald father. I was the bald father.
Yes, if you haven't figured it out, Joe is bald. He looks very good bald though. He's one of those few guys that can shave their head and they actually look good. Because not everybody can do that. If I did it, I'd look terrible.
Right. No, I was very lucky when I shaved my head the first time that I didn't shave it off and there were no marks. There wasn't like a baby arm growing out of my head or anything. It was all smooth and good.
Yeah, there was a whole discussion at dinner the other night where people were admiring the shape of Joe's head and saying he had a
That's
nice
right.
head for being bald.
That's
yeah.
right.
Again, I go back to this. If you ever watch The Shield, which is a show on FX, and there's a character, Vic Mackey, who's played by Michael Chiklis. Joe looks a lot like Michael Chiklis. I
Really?
think.
I thought Charlie Brown.
I think I'm exactly a cross between Michael Chiklis and Charlie Brown. I think I'm like a very sweet Michael Chiklis
Yeah.
is what I look like. So.
I think you're cuter than Michael Chiklis.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Not Charlie Brown though.
Charlie
No
Brown's
one's
much
cuter than Charlie
Yeah,
Brown.
Charlie Brown's much cuter than
Yes.
I am. I will fully admit that. So anyway, that was the basis for my column. We will try to get through it. If we don't, that's okay. We'll just see where we go. And I think last time or one of the last columns, we didn't even get all the way through.
No.
But you know what? It was still a good podcast. So let's not be afraid. Okay, here we go. Okay. Bald men and the women who love them.
Oh my
That's the
God.
title. Longtime readers of this column know that one of my favorite topics of discourse is my own bald head. I have written about both its glory and its social significance, and I provided links if people want to see those past columns. When my friend Jen offered me an opportunity to attend a hurry date event for bald men and the women who love them, I accepted immediately. As a bald man, I absolutely need to know, who are these women who love me? So that's why I went. The event was
and there were 11 women.
there were 11 women
Yeah.
who love bald men.
That's a fetish.
It's I think it's a preference. A fetish is like if you like to watch videos of people stepping on bugs and get off on that. That's a fetish.
That's creepy.
I think it's called a stomp.
Does anyone really have that fetish?
Yeah, it's a stomp fetish. Yeah,
Really?
No,
that's a fetish.
A
No,
fetish
that's-
could be anything, though. It could be like sucking jelly beans through a straw while
well,
having
there's
sex.
I mean, there's there's a big
Could be
difference.
anything.
Coming out
There's
of
a big
where?
difference between preference and fetish. Like preference would be, oh, I like a girl who has a nice, whatever, like nice
I like
boobs.
a girl who wears Abercrombie and Fit.
There
Well,
you
I
go.
think-
That's a
I don't
preference.
think-
A fetish is something that's not normal.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
not normal.
Yeah, like if you like porn that features like disabled animals, like that would be a fetish. Like disabled animal porn,
Really?
that would be a fetish.
Disabled
yeah.
animal.
Yeah, you've never heard of that?
No.
What about a foot fetish though?
A
That's
foot
just
fetish.
like
That's again.
Feet.
Yeah,
People who like
Wait.
something that's unusual. That's fetish.
But at foot, that's not normal. I mean, really?
No, but to like one so much, like there's probably a couple accepted body parts that we like about other people. Foot is not usually one of them. That qualifies it for a fetish.
Really?
I think so.
I have to look into this.
All right, Carlos, you can look into this. You become our fetish expert.
Yes.
Okay, so the event was held. What's that?
Well, I was just gonna say there's a guy who's been emailing Jenny. I've known Jenny for 6 years now or something like
Right.
more than that, 8 years.
Jenny Jones.
And he's obsessed with her feet. He's
Wow.
constantly asking her to send him pictures of his feet. He's been emailing her since the day I started as her website producer.
Well,
like
Did
8
she
years
ever
ago.
do it?
She actually posted a picture of her feet on the website because she thought it was funny,
Di-
like way back when.
here's-
But now, like 30 letters later, it's just scary.
Oh,
Wow,
my
that's
God.
weird.
Yeah.
Here's.
Uh-oh. Oh, we haven't had this in a while.
Whoa.
Dear Jenny, I have pictures of Oprah's elbows, Tempest Bledsoe's forehead.
Wow.
Montel Williams' shins, and I also have Sharon Osbourne's wrist. I need Jenny Jones's feet.
Wow.
And Ozzy's bloomers.
Oh, now that's just too far.
Oh, come on.
Now you took it one step too far.
I didn't know he was doing that type of letter.
Yeah.
When he's recording it.
People.
And they
Did you ever write in megaphone?
Oh, no.
It was all caps.
Wow.
Yeah, it was all caps. That's why.
That works. That works.
That's why I did that. Did you ever? I don't know, Jen. I have a friend or a person I used to perform comedy with, and whenever she got an email in all caps, she always thought the person who wrote it was yelling at her.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a girl thing, right?
No, it's like internet protocol. Like if you talk in all caps,
it means yelling.
It's very rude and like abrasive.
It's so weird because this person, it was actually from Carney Vengeance. It was Julia. I sent her an email. Like we had a good show or something, and I was like, "That was awesome." And she wrote back something like, "Why are you yelling?" Like she thought I was being mad or mean, and I was like, I was pumped up because we had a really good show.
Well, that would signify enthusiasm,
right?
to me.
But she always took it as yelling, no matter even if it was nice. Like, "Hey, I thought you had a really good show tonight, and good job." She took it as, "Hey, I thought you had a really good show and good job." Like just too over aggressive.
You should have slapped her.
Why would I slap her?
Well, that's a fetish, isn't it?
No, well, I didn't. No,
I mean, Carlos, you may watch snuff films, but not many people do.
Carlos,
No.
if your first reaction is to go to slap off that story.
Well, I don't know. She seems annoying if she seems like you're
No,
yelling
I'm
at her.
I'm just saying it seemed like because I've heard other women say the same thing. It's like even if you send a kind of a normal email in all caps, they think it's yelling.
Then that's ridiculous.
Well, then
she-
women.
then she
you know what?
should be slapped.
Then women are ridiculous.
Then she should be slapped.
Well,
make some sense out of it.
I've heard it from more than one woman,
Mike's-
and I don't have that
Mike's-
kind of time to go around slapping them all. So we have to establish slapping boundaries.
I think you should put your column in all caps this
I
week.
should.
Yeah.
And we'll put it in all caps. It'll be like I'm just yelling about going to a Hurry Date event. All right. So, okay. The event was held at a Beverly Hills bar called Nirvana.
Wow.
According to Buddhists, Nirvana is the extinction of individual consciousness. Now, there is no sign outside the bar, so you literally have to walk in and ask, "Is this Nirvana?"
That's an Indian club.
It has Indian things there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big Indian club. Like a lot of South Asian.
There you go. The art is it's South Asian on the wall.
People-
Bald
Yeah.
statues.
Yep,
Bald
yep.
statues.
I went there one night with an old friend of mine who was Indian,
Nice.
and I was like literally the only white guy in there. Everybody else was Indian.
Nice. It makes sense. There was an Indian guy in the group of men who
There was
dating.
Siddhartha,
His
who
name
I
was
did
Siddhartha?
match with, by the way. Yeah, I matched up
That's
with
the
him.
name of a very famous
A
Indian book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Siddhartha,
I knew it sounded
It wasn't like a
familiar.
fake name, though.
No, he goes by Sid.
Okay.
Oh.
Call me
Goes by
Sid. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. So
So he was bald?
yeah, there was a bald Indian guy.
Oh, I guess I should say that I was also participating in the event as
Yes.
a dater, even though I host the events normally. Since
Right.
I like bald men, I jumped the fence and
Right.
did the other side.
Wow.
Yes, Jen had to be there. So we were actually each other's wing men at the event.
Oh,
We
so
were-
you,
we
so you
were.
didn't go on a little date.
We did.
We actually
did.
had- we
but we
had our
scoped
own.
the other people out when we were on our
Right.
date. Like, hey, look at that guy. Look at that
We
guy.
were helping.
I think
giving
it's
each other
look at that
information.
I think this is very cute. They picked each other just to support each
to
other.
be nice.
To be
Yes.
nice. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
and
great.
also because, that would be rude not to.
Right.
For you readers out there, I like to
Readers.
describe. Well, readers, yeah, because readers are the listeners, really. I don't think we have anybody that doesn't read your column. That
How about
listens.
talkers?
Everyone
But,
who breathes out there.
No, I like to describe Jen and Joe's relationship as the very cool relationship that if you ever watch Seinfeld, they're one of the very few Seinfeld and Elaine's, which
Yes.
that whole series was based on, ex.
What makes me then?
You are the Kramer.
Am I?
Yeah.
Then what's Mike?
Mike is
He's not
Newman.
Hello, Newman.
Hello, Jerry.
That's the. I don't know. I don't think we fit into those.
I think you're Newman. I think you're definitely.
You're the soup Nazi.
When's the last time I?
Oh.
You're the Newman. Nope. You were too slow off the draw, so you became Newman. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So Nirvana. There's no sign outside the bar. You have to ask, is this Nirvana? Then a hostess says, yes, this is Nirvana. Then you lose individual consciousness and collapse to the floor. Or at least you should, in theory.
Right.
I think so.
It's my little humor joke. So here's the scene at Nirvana. And Jen, you can add on to this. The bar is dimly lit, and everything that can be made of wood is made of wood. There are couches and beds where a sensible Midwestern bar owner would put tables and chairs. The walls, and it takes a minute to notice this, and Mike, I don't know if you noticed this while you were there, but the walls are adorned with carvings of ancient peoples grabbing each other's junk.
I don't remember that. No, I don't remember seeing that.
Maybe they put it up just for the event.
Yeah, exactly.
To inspire people.
Yeah, every single like piece of art is somebody grabbing somebody else's something.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
Kama Sutra, isn't it?
It was very Kama Sutra-esque. So
Wow.
it was very
Carlos, I like that you knew that.
Spo-
That's kind of
Oh.
sexy.
Sexy.
Really? Oh, thank
supposed to be sexy, but not.
What?
Anyway, yeah, it was like old timey people, and they're all sad looking, holding each other's breasts. Like that's the art, and it made me like not, Anyway, I wrote in my column, it's possibly the least sexy porno of all time, with the notable exception of Two Girls, One Cup.
Oh, is that really a porno though?
Yeah, it's definitely a porno.
I don't think that's.
Well,
a porno.
it's disgusting, whatever it is.
That's a fetish.
Yeah, that probably qualifies as a fetish.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. Okay, as if the setting was not surreal enough. For the first time in my life, I found myself in an enclosed space with a dozen people who looked similar to me. It was completely unsettling.
To me, that would have been the weirdest thing.
It
was
was the
it
weirdest
was like
thing.
an egg carton.
Yeah.
It was. There were no cute eggs though.
That's good. I like that.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Egg carton.
It was. It was like an
Great
egg
way to
carton.
describe it.
If you would have just been looking from the neck up, it was like 12 eggs.
Or bowling alley maybe or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Here, I'll describe how I found it, but I like egg carton actually. That's really funny. Okay, so people who look just like me. Imagine a fun house of mirrors, and some of the mirrors are more older than you, and some of the mirrors are more Indian than you.
Oh boy.
I wanted to run out of the bar and back into a world of hair, where I was the exception and not the rule. If a random stranger had walked into the bar and seen the 13 of us bald guys gathered in one spot, here are 3 thoughts that might have crossed his mind. Number 1, Fleet Week has come to Beverly Hills. Nobody gets that, do
No.
they? Fleet Week is when all the military people, and they do it
Sorry.
in San Francisco and New York. So it's all shaved head dudes. And for some reason, like,
Well, you did wear your sailor outfit.
No, I did not wear a sailor
Really?
outfit. I do
would've
not
been great
have a
if-
sailor outfit.
Sexy.
I don't have.
He's
a
wearing
sa-
his Aussie sailor outfit.
I am right now. I've already changed into it. One girl kept on asking me like 3 times. She was like, "Are you in the military?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "But your head is shaved." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." But she just
So
equated.
did she ask that of everyone?
I think
or-
she did. Like,
Okay.
I think somebody earlier had said they were in the military, and then she thought every guy was in the
Right.
military.
Well, yeah, but did some of the guys did they have a little bit of hair on their head or something? Or
I wasn't really looking, Jen.
Some of them did.
Yeah.
Some of them. But
So
it
they're
wasn't,
partially
most
bald.
of it was, partial. So they just went with the program like Joe advocates.
Yeah, the
and-
program. You
yeah.
can read about it in my column. One of my old
Absolutely.
columns. Okay, number 2, they might have thought the metrosexual wing of the KKK has set up shop in Beverly Hills. Number 3, the world's foremost super terrorists are enjoying happy hour in Beverly Hills. Because it did look like a room full of like people
Yeah,
plotting.
It was like a
men.
James Bond villain.
It was like a James Bond. It's like, how will we get Bond this time?
Yeah.
And then there were 12 other people with plans.
Were they all like carrying a cat and rubbing it?
Yes,
or something?
everybody had a cane, a hat,
patting a
or a
cat.
small
Mrs.
Japanese man,
Bigglesworth.
a small Japanese guy next to
Oh,
him
yeah.
who would like do random deeds of destruction.
A destruction.
Yep. So
Except I don't think there's usually a blonde chick with a whistle when there's a terrorist gathering.
It's
Wait,
true.
is that how they tell you like the time is up? Like they just blow a whistle?
they blow a whistle. They go. What do they say? Like hurry date, hurry date.
Yeah. Hurry, date, rotate.
rotate.
Oh,
Rotate.
God.
So how long do you get with each person?
5 minutes.
Wow.
You get 5 minutes.
What can you really learn in 5
a
minutes?
lot, as I will
Yeah.
explain in my column. It's coming up. Okay.
Good segue. Good
Yes.
segue.
Okay, in all, there were 13 men and 11 women. Every person was assigned a number. Each date was 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, you marked yes or no on your scorecard next to your date's number. After the dates, we were told to go to hurrydate.com and enter our selections. Those people who chose each other would be notified on the website. Okay. My quest for information on why women love bald men unearthed just a few answers. One popular reason why women dig the bald thing was celebrities. Some of the women said they were into Bruce Willis or Vin Diesel, and I assume they pictured their ideal man in a similar light. Sadly, none of these women mentioned my favorite bald dude, Sir Winston Churchill. I swear to God, and I'm not
Really?
kidding. If one of the women would have said her favorite bald guy was Churchill, we would have been in a car 2 minutes later on our way to Vegas.
Wow.
Okay, I didn't agree with the man's politics, but by God, he was a vision with that bald head of his.
He was.
I mean, did anybody ever look better with a bald head? Like stately, manly, supreme.
Yeah, the way his
Leader.
glasses looked, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I would agree.
He was the first. I mean, he was the, he was the.
If you put
forebear.
him next to like a bald eagle, it would show a lot of pride.
Who would look tougher? It'd be a dead draw.
I think he would. Yeah, the bald eagle would have died.
I think if I had to pick one of them, If I had to pick one of them to be able to swoop out of the sky and snatch a mouse off the ground and soar back towards a nest,
Be Churchill.
I'd pick Churchill.
Yep.
A vulture.
Over the bald eagle.
Really?
Over the bald eagle, over a vulture.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's how
How about
tough
a turtle?
or a turtle, and to drop it onto a rock
Yeah.
and then eat the insides. I would
Wow.
pick Churchill for that too.
Wow.
Yeah. Good,
Interesting.
Carlos, good question.
Thank you.
Many of the women said they could not explain their fascination. They just know what they like, and they like bald. One woman said she likes the feel of rubbing a bald head. Yeah. I know this to be true because on more than one occasion, while at a bar, I have felt the hand of a strange woman on the back of my head. Bald is different, and for some reason, bald is different, and some women are into different. They want to experience it. I liken it to women who dig Australian guys because of their accents. Australia is England with only slightly better food, but damn if those Aussie blokes don't rake in the American ladies. Mike, remember when that Japanese bar with all those Australian guys?
Yeah, the Australian Navy.
We were there with the Australian Navy.
It's a very funny story about that, actually, which, you guys probably know, but our listeners don't. Joe and I were in Tokyo one night, and we went to the Roppongi district, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Roppongi district.
We're at the Lexington Queen.
Now, the one thing about the Roppongi district, it's like the sex capital right there.
Yep.
It's like a huge sex trade.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
nice.
So basically, Joe and I were walking through the streets. We were just kind of looking for like an average bar.
Yep.
Just want to go hang out, listen to some music.
Yep.
But for some reason, a lot of these prostitutes kept coming up to Joe. And they really liked Joe. Not me, Joe, for some reason.
They would always go right to my head.
They would go right to his head, rub his
Rub my
head,
head.
and be like, sucky sucky or whatever it was.
Nobody said
Wow,
sucky sucky.
really?
I
They
don't know
said they would say you want to. They would say you want a massage, but that's not what they were
Or
asking.
massage side or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
massage.
We love you long time.
So
Yeah.
You
literally,
want a ping pong show?
not only were we getting hounded by the prostitutes, but these guys from the Sudan were up there, basically trying to herd us into all these
Right.
different clubs.
Yes,
I guess Japan is a much better place, than living in the Sudan. So these guys come up, but they'll get in your face like Japanese people won't.
Oh yeah. So are you taking this to where we go to dinner? And
Now you duck into a bar. We duck into a bar, or like it was like a dinner bar kind of thing, and the waiter comes and brings us, some drinks, and Joe's like, hey, we really just want to go to like a nightclub, no women, just nightclub.
Right.
And the guy's like, yeah, and the guy spoke pretty good English too.
Right.
The guy's like, yeah, right up the street there's a bar called the Lexington Queen,
which is a famous bar in Tokyo.
Well, we didn't know anything about it at
Right.
the time, but
I think Queen might be some foreshadowing.
well,
Right. Yeah,
as
yeah.
we were walking,
This sounds gay.
It's gonna get even gayer.
as we were walking, I was talking to Joe, and I'm like, Joe, you did say to the guy, no girls.
I was trying to say no prostitute women,
but I'm like,
no massage
and then we
women.
got to the Lexington Queen, and it's kind of like a pink sign
Yep.
with like green lettering, and it says the Lexington Queen.
And it's underground. You have to go down 20 steps to get into it.
Typical.
And when we get down there, there's nobody at the bar except for the entire Australian Navy.
yeah.
So
Wow.
And so we were in there. It basically, and it was cool. You pay like $20, and then it's all you can drink, and whatever. So that's kind of interesting there. But-
right.
so we walked down, and for the first 2 hours, it was all men.
Yep.
But then,
I like that we stayed for 2 hours too.
then
What the hell happened? over
gradually,
there?
like women started coming and turning into a big
Thank
nightclub.
God.
And it was actually, we learned later that the Lexington Queen is actually a pretty famous club over there.
Yep. I think on our way out we saw that every famous rock band that's been to Tokyo has partied there. And
Every famous rock band from the 1980s, like Rat,
yeah.
Poison.
They all had
like
pictures and stuff up on the bar, so
Yep.
it was pretty cool. So yeah, we
Was
thought.
Cinderella there?
I'm sure they were. I'm sure they
Cool.
were.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
we thought we'd been lured into a gay bar, but we weren't. But
Freddie Mercury.
we stayed. We were willing to stay there 7 or 8 hours to make sure it
Just to
wasn't
make
a gay
sure,
bar.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You proved your point.
Dedication. All right. Where are we? Okay. And
Winston Churchill. I
yes,
think.
Winston Churchill. The women just like bald. Okay. And that's pretty much all the insight I was able to gather. I think some of the women were there because it was a hurry date event in their age range, and it was on a night they were available. Unfortunately for my quest, the bald thing seemed secondary because I asked almost all of them, why do you like bald guys? And got, not a whole lot of enlightening answers. I
So
figured-
basically, I was the only one with a bald fetish.
No, there was one other one.
Okay.
There were two.
No, I think they probably all had them, but you just can't explain it. I mean,
Yeah,
how do you
some people-
explain
they just-
why
they
you
couldn't- yeah, they couldn't
find
explain
something
it.
attractive?
Yeah. So, and I was trying to do the date, but I was also trying to let it pop up organically into the conversation. I didn't want to force
Right, you didn't
it.
want to whip out your
I'm doing a book
pad and
report.
paper.
Yeah. So, it's not,
Is there like a date thing, speed dating thing for girls with big breasts or something.
Jen, what are the different categories?
Well, we have race. So we have African American, Asian. That's about it for the races.
Argentinian? Like all.
No, but I can put that in the suggestion box.
Nice. It will be Carlos and the other two Argentinians.
Yes, they live in Los
in
Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Jewish, Catholic.
Yep.
Jewish.
We're doing one called Cream of the Crop.
Yeah.
In which people who've gotten 7 matches or more at an event are invited.
Wow.
Wow,
That's cool. Wait.
I guess it's a little elitist.
I got
for my
6.
taste, I got 6 too. I'm not going.
That sucks. I'm
We're both
freaking bummed out about
right
that.
under the cutoff.
That really makes me mad because I'm very competitive.
I know.
Have you ever seen like a lesbian thing there?
Do they do same sex?
Oh,
we
sure
don't
they
do same sex actually, but
really?
I think they used to, and it wasn't very popular. So they.
I'm sure there
they
are
cut it
services
out.
that do. Yeah. So okay.
Porn star?
We could go to porn star karaoke one night and recruit some people.
There you go.
Have you
There
heard
you go.
about that?
They have that?
Yeah, it's Sardo's.
Yeah, that's where
We were just at Sardo's.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Sardo's is a karaoke club in Burbank,
Yeah.
where, by the way, I don't like to brag, but Mike and I rocked the house down with a certain song by a certain George Michael
Wham.
called "Careless Whisper,"
Yep.
and
The bar went nuts.
everyone went crazy. They were literally men dancing with men everywhere. This has become the gay cast. by
I'm
the way.
Yeah.
never
What?
gonna dance again.
It was like straight dudes, but they were like goof dancing with each other, like up on the right in front of us.
Yeah, they were like right next to it. It was
yeah,
pretty funny.
it was pretty funny, and that song killed. And
I
actually,
saw the bartender too, like waving.
I got to throw a shout out to.
His arms.
We were actually at Tom's sitting here in the audience now. We were at Tom's birthday a few weeks ago when my buddy Jason and I sang it together, and it brought down the house there too. So that is now my go-to karaoke song. Is Careless Whisper?
Thank God I'm not involved in any.
What song did we sing together, Carlos, at Tom's birthday?
Patience.
We sang Patience. What was the other one where I only knew was the chorus? It was
Superstar.
Superstar.
By
That's
the
right.
Carpenters, but that's
So you just
not
came in on the
gay.
chorus?
I'm sorry. She's a woman, for Christ's sake. Not some.
Hardly, like there was barely a woman there.
She's not a Greek gay guy.
Didn't eat like a woman. What's that?
Well, she's not a Greek gay guy.
No.
Who probably banged that Australian Navy right there.
And that's very true. But anyway, that's my song, and you have your song. I don't know. I don't think you can outman me on that one. I just don't see
that's
that
a good
happening.
thing.
Have they ever done like speed dating for like women who like guys who like trains?
Oh my god.
Do you have a
That's like-
fan club or something of trains?
No, I know it's just very specific, but that'd be an oddball thing, right?
It's a fetish.
Be a crazy.
Is
thing.
that a fetish?
I don't know if that would be a fetish.
Yeah.
We have a dog lovers event.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
This
November 29th. Come one, come all.
Mike, is this what every girl wants? A guy who spends all his time in a small room with glue, putting small things together,
Wow.
like building tiny little fantasy worlds, and like getting mad when the tiny fir tree falls over and won't stick to the El Paso post office.
No, because you spend some of your time like watching real trains. So you're outside. It's a very outdoor activity.
Well, I didn't even think of that.
You could go
I just
out.
had a thought though. What
you
if
go out
like
for a picnic.
That sounds gay.
sorry. What if gamers would rather do like virtual hurry date?
Oh, see,
Like their
that's
little
that's pretty
avatars
cool.
like in the room.
like you could do a wee hurry date. That might actually happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's
Jen.
cool. Yeah.
You might be sitting on
Maybe
a
that's my new
$1 million
oosh,
idea.
Don't tell anyone.
There's actually a huge culture of women gamers, like women who really like video games out there.
I never met one.
There's women that compete, like they're big
Yeah,
time.
no, I've seen it. but-
competitors,
Yeah,
I like Guitar Hero.
and they make money.
Guitar Hero right now.
Love
is-
Guitar Hero.
Many
Yeah.
people that has become the Pac-Man of this generation is Guitar Hero.
I didn't think I would like the game, and I still haven't played it because I play guitar, so it seemed like if you play a guitar, but no, like my friend Mark Thomas, who's a very very good guitar player, he played it and he absolutely loved
Well,
it.
if you
so it
like
seems
if you like
fan-like.
music and you like Simon, remember Simon where you had to press the things?
wow.
If you like those two things, you will like Guitar Hero because that's what those two things are. It's just hitting 4 buttons in a certain order and listening to music.
I always thought that Simon machine would explode.
Like, why?
I don't know. It just started going nuts, and you couldn't keep
Is
up with
that
it.
why?
And it would just
It probably
self-destruct.
did. That's probably why they're not selling it.
You chose poorly.
But then I thought, that raises the stakes on that game and make it a lot more exciting. Like the whole thing is a bomb that can self-destruct
Right.
in
Yeah.
front of you if you don't.
Yeah. I wonder what would one sound like. I wonder.
I don't know what an exploding Simon would sound like.
Yeah.
It would like be beep. I wish we had somebody on sound
that's
effects
your
right
cue,
now.
Yeah, I don't
Mike.
know.
I wish we had somebody on
I mean,
sound effects.
it's a bomb. It would blow your- it'd blow your back porch off.
I'm just gonna throw the iPod at Mike next time.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw it at his
It would
head.
sound something like this.
What would it sound like? Beep boop.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Very, very natural.
Folks,
it makes sense now.
Blow the back door off your house.
Oh,
All right, you gotta hit pause, Mike. You gotta hit pause. We run a sinking ship here. Folks.
yes, it does.
We do. We really do. We run
Hey.
a sinking ship.
I always go down with the ship.
Yeah, I noticed.
George Clooney. All right.
Oh man.
I always find the fish.
Oh,
my
So
God.
fuck you.
Oh, hey, calm
geez.
down.
Now, why do we have to bring fish into this?
Well, that was a line in The Perfect Storm, which I always liked. I thought it was very funny. It's George Clooney. I always find the fish. God damn it!
Wow.
That was when the whole crew was like kind of questioning him because they went to.
Mike, tell the story of when you were watching the UFO show on TV. Again.
Yeah. And tell us about the time when you saw your first train. You know?
I don't remember when I saw my first train.
How about the 50th time you saw a train? Tell us about that one.
Well, I don't remember all the time. I've seen
All
millions
right.
of trains.
All right,
Oh, boy.
let's get away from Mike. Let's steer it back towards Carlos.
Let's go back in time.
All right. Okay. The women, as they always are at these events, were fascinating. I have changed their names to protect their identities. And I'll go through some of the ladies I met. There was Andrea, an attractive masseuse who was into sports.
Hey, now.
Yo, that would be number one choice.
She's perfect, right? Wrong. The conversation was brutal. Okay, in my head, I'm trying to justify all these things I didn't like about her because number one, she was hot. Number two, her job is to rub strangers' bodies for money. And number three, she can go to a batting cage and knows what she's doing. I was forcing it. I was trying so hard to make it work, and it just wouldn't. And here's the thing about speed dating. They give you 5 minutes, but you can tell within 2 seconds. Jen, can you tell? I can tell within 2 seconds.
Right. You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
There you go.
That's right.
It's all in the facial reactions, tone of voice, and other subconscious indicators. Malcolm Gladwell wrote about how people size each other up within the first 2 seconds of his book, Blink. And now that I've done speed dating twice, I will back that up. Like, you know in 2 seconds how it's going to go.
Great book.
Great book.
Right.
And I absolutely did. I had an open mind going into each conversation. But I can count at least 6 cases.
So there wasn't any point where you looked at a table and like, oh God, I don't want to go to that one.
No, I never like. I went into everything with an open mind. You know, I just
That's
wanted
good.
to. Yeah, I'm old enough now where I'm above like all that petty. She's got to look this certain perfect way. It's like no, be a good person. And
I'm still there.
I know you're still petty and small, Carlos. That's part of why we have you on the podcast. To mix it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So anyway, I went into each one with an open mind, but I can count at least 6 cases out of the, whatever it was, 11, in which I knew it was over before the first word was said. Now, mind you, I do not lack for confidence. I think I'm a catch, and not just because my mom says so. But I could tell in 2 seconds that it would be like the next 4 minutes and 58 seconds would be like 2 hours. Like, there are just sometimes you can tell right off the bat. Jen, can you tell when it's going to be horrible?
Yeah, I will say I didn't have any horrible conversations, but this is bringing to mind my favorite quote from LA Story, so I need to put it out there.
Yeah.
1989.
Oh, so I hear you're taking a class in the art of conversation. Yes.
Wow.
Sorry, it didn't go over that
No,
well. But
no,
yeah,
no. That's one of my favorite.
fave.
I love that quote too.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it felt sometimes. You would go and you'd be like, hey, and you would have a great opener, like, or whatever. You would notice something about the environment. You would just capture the moment perfectly, and you would just get like a stare and crickets in the background, and just that's exactly how it would feel.
Wow.
So
Look at that. That just came out of the
no,
blue.
like play the crickets. Here's where the conversation would go. Like, go ahead and play the crickets. It'd be like, yeah, live in Studio City.
Really?
And I'm a writer, and I'm from Cleveland originally, and I'm into sports, and
Yeah, how many times did you have to say the same thing over and over to
yeah,
people?
plenty of times. I
List your
know I
resume.
said
Oh.
that's how two
That's
of,
how you felt
two
the
of them
13th
ended
time.
that way. Two of them
Yeah.
ended that way, where somebody shot themselves.
Were you playing Simon at the time?
So no, I was not playing Simon. No, I wish no. And yeah, a lot of times it's the same information. And just like a rule of improv, if you're asking a lot of questions and they're asking a lot of questions, then it's not going well.
Right.
And that's a rule of comedy and improv. If there's a lot of questions, then there's no energy, there's no motion, there's no information being given, and it's going slowly. And that's how you can tell you're on a bad date. And it really held true, because if we were just sitting there asking each other's questions, we weren't grabbing information or exposing anything about ourselves.
Yeah.
Whereas you can ask a question and then you go off and they go off and you build on each other's conversation, and that's good
Because that
conversation.
shows that you can relate, and there's
Exactly.
moments that you can relate to and whatnot.
You know,
I perfectly agree.
I have an important question. What happens when if you're doing this speed dating thing, what happens if you have to go to the bathroom? Do you just hold it out? Of the
you
bathroom?
you wait until you get to your ex-girlfriend and you say, "Can you wait for a second?"
He totally did. He
Are you
totally
serious?
did.
Wait, you actually did?
Yeah, I went.
Wow.
I peed during our speed date.
Very
I only got 3
romantic.
minutes and 30 seconds with Joe.
It's true.
Sucked.
An hour and a half. No, I mean a minute and a half.
Well,
Jesus.
what more? I've known you for what, like 10 years. What more am I going to find out in 4
Wow.
minutes, in 5 minutes? Were you ready to give me new information? Is there a piece of information that I lacked?
It's okay. I just put an intermission sign up and sat there by
Yes, you
myself.
did. Yes, you did. So
It's all good.
Yeah. Oh, there it
And
is.
actually, one of my other exes was there, which was really awkward.
Well,
But that's
in all fairness, in any given LA bar, you may have 2 or more exes floating around, Jen
Yeah,
Jones. So
that is true.
yeah.
Now you're making me sound like Samantha on Sex and
No,
the City
no,
or
no,
something.
no. You're actually a quite respectable girl, but you
Who
know,
likes to shimmy every
she
once
likes
in
to
a
shimmy
while.
and she knows
Yeah.
everybody. So yeah, you gotta like that. So all right, guys, I think we've come to the point where we're gonna start to wrap things up. We're gonna get to this is the end of the show, Jen. It's called the aftermath. I don't know why did we decide to put an explosion there, Mike. I forgot.
I don't know, because I might put some music to it or something, but I don't know. It just seemed fitting.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And
All
we're
right.
just gonna kind of wrap things up, get everybody's
I'd
final
say it's
thought.
because we've blown everybody's minds.
We have blown everybody's
We keep
minds.
losing listeners because everybody's minds are blown.
blown.
Wow.
We have to
that's
find
good.
new minds.
We have to find new minds.
We're
and
like
then they
we're
blow.
like it's like a zombie podcast. We're just looking for brains. So okay, we usually we'll go around this way. Mike, why don't you offer your aftermath for today's podcast?
I think. Here's my aftermath. I think that if you go on one of these speed dating things,
Mm-hmm.
and you meet that girl that's like into sports, she's a masseuse,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even a great cook, and everything just aligns perfectly except for one thing.
Her personality.
Yeah, I think I think that in a sense is like the universe looking at you and pointing at you like I'm pointing at you right now.
I know Mike's pointing. By the way, this is the first
Oh
pointing
my
in the podcast.
gosh.
Carlos and I like to point this out.
Yeah, I love it.
No, but it's like it's pointing and being like, you pebble, you
What?
you insignificant cockroach, you Smurf. I am going to give you the perfect girl, but make her not perfect.
Yeah, make her boring and.
I think it's the universe just kind of looking and laughing.
All right, Mike believes in a malevolent universe. That's very interesting.
Yeah, very much so.
An anti-Joe universe, and I would not doubt that. Okay, Mike, that's actually an interesting take, interesting point of view. Carlos, your
You know-
thoughts, sir?
You know, it's funny when he says "you Smurf." It's like I think that's in the Smurf language. That means you cunt. I think.
It does. Well, yeah, the
it
word
is kinda
Smurf
like- yeah, it is. a
is
Smurf.
interchangeable for
It
anything.
is,
So
I
Mike
think-
was actually using the cunt word.
Jesus, Mike.
Wow.
Well, no, but that's the universe talking.
When
not
you
me.
said you Smurf, which word did you mean for Smurf? Because Smurf could mean any
Yeah.
word in the Smurf language. Did you literally mean a Smurf, or did you mean it like as an adjective for another word? Or
no,
like
I
a
literally meant it as a Smurf.
Smurf. Okay. So
Alright.
funny where you took it, Carlos.
Oh, I'm just saying. Like he was pointing to the table when he started saying it.
That's
but,
true.
Yeah.
I like how when Mike points out the insignificance of the universe, he goes to Smurf.
Yeah.
Well, because they are. They're like blueberries. I mean, how important are they?
Wow.
Like you could go through and wipe out an entire Smurf village, and
Well,
no one
no,
would care.
if it was that easy, how come Gargamel couldn't do it?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was that easy, a cat and an old man couldn't do it.
because
Really?
Gargamel was a fool.
He had magic powers, though, powers that I lack.
He was a fool.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, he was a fool, but the only thing he did, like the only thing he existed for, was to wipe out the Smurfs. That was the only. When he woke up in the morning, the first thing, like he had a to-do list, and there was one thing,
Yeah,
and it was
kill
kill the
Smurfs.
Smurfs. And he couldn't do that one thing.
He could even step on one by accident.
Right. He
Yeah.
never once, and he couldn't find their village, even though
Yeah.
it was always so close to his castle.
Yeah.
Really.
I think you're.
And that represents that the world is full of morons.
Well, I think you're underestimating how difficult it is to kill a Smurf.
I think it is.
I think you can go through and just wipe it out. Like just take a shoe and go
Yeah.
play soccer.
Again.
Wow.
We
Solid.
disagree. We disagree.
All right, well,
and,
set a squirrel loose.
and there is an excellent documentary on the attempt called The Smurfs television show, which aired in the early 80s. And you can watch that anytime you want and see how difficult it is or was for one man to accomplish that goal. So
That's what it was all
I
about.
refer
One
you to
man
that.
trying to kill.
It was one of the funniest documentaries I've ever seen in my life.
Jacques Cousteau is
Yes.
kind of like in that
Yes,
realm.
exactly. All right, very good. And Jen,
Okay, 2 things. One, I have a piece of advice for all hurry daters.
oh yeah,
Sure.
If you find yourself in an egg carton of men.
Oh my god!
Make sure you find the good egg.
Oh.
Wow.
Not Joe, by the way.
Yeah. No.
Aw,
Nope.
Joe's a good egg. And then the second one is, I just thought it would be funny since we were talking about talk shows to give a Jerry Springer final thought.
Sure.
So
Sure.
if you go to her date, be good to yourselves and each other.
Oh, very nice. It's
Wow.
very, very
Well said.
appropriate. Very appropriate. All right.
Joe just hit Mike with a chair.
I was pointing it at him.
Oh, you are
Yeah, I
okay.
was.
That's
He's
even
her
better.
baby daddy.
Now
I
it's
was pointing
time for the Argentina corner.
Wait, why do we have an Argentina corner?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think
either.
that's what we should name Carlos's corner. We should say
Yeah.
Argentina
Carlos
corner.
already had his say.
Yeah.
He had his say. So.
Yeah, I was just talking about
And he
Smurfs.
dropped the
Talk
C
about
bomb.
some- He did drop the
Wait,
C
that was
bomb.
your final. That was your final thought.
Yeah.
I thought you were just commenting
His final
on mine.
thought was about your final thought.
Yeah, I thought he was just commenting on mine. No,
His
you got to give
aftermath-
another one.
his
That's not
aftermath
fair.
was-
No,
Do you have another one?
Yeah,
Because
okay.
that's not fair to put you on the spot. You already had one.
No,
But I
I
didn't
don't mind.
consider it
I don't
one.
care.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, speed dating is it's fun. I never done it, but I can imagine it's fun.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with a bunch of bald guys, it would probably be weird.
It was very strange.
So it's like a fun weird.
Yeah. At least 8 of them did bring cats and stroke them on their laps.
Oh.
Talked about.
That's
about,
good. That's
yeah.
special. I like
Talked about what continent they were going to take over
Oh.
and all that stuff. So
Very sweet.
It is funny because your brother Danny, who we've had on the show before,
Mhm.
he has this philosophy that bald guys in movies are always evil.
right. Yes. And he has a lot of proof to back
He
it
does
up.
have a lot of proof, but there's I don't know. I think what about
There's a couple. You can
Captain Jean-Luc
right,
Picard?
that's
You know,
the
he's a
big
good
one.
guy.
That's the big one. But if you look at and what his point is, look at any TV commercial, like where it's just average schlubby guy, whatever. It's the incompetent guy is always the bald guy.
Right.
So it's not so much like who's the star of the movie. It's like who's the third cop through the door who accidentally shoots the mother.
That's true.
Oh.
They made Lex Luthor bald.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's his point, and I think he's got a valid point. Although he takes it to extremes, but that's the nature of my brother
Danny.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So anyway, Jen, thanks for coming on the show.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
You have lots
it was
of
fun.
stuff. Yeah, we're gonna
I
have
do.
we're gonna
I'm
have you on
brimming
again.
with stories.
Definitely. I think we'll just do a podcast just devoted to
We
that.
should do a
Yeah.
Jen podcast.
A final.
I would love
And,
to.
one
Final
more
shimmy.
shimmy.
Oh my
She just
gosh.
shimmied again.
Shimmy.
If you can't hear that, it's too bad.
Wow.
There was a shimmy just now. Thank you for the shimmying, Jen. We appreciate that.
Carlos's eyes just popped out.
Yes,
You
they
can't
did.
even see.
like
the
a
man's
cartoon,
blind.
like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Then his tongue came out and rolled across the table.
Well, my shirt does kind of look like a Simon board.
Nice.
A little. There's lots of colors.
Yes, there are lots of colors.
Yeah.
Yes. So
It
it
makes
almost
people's heads
exploded.
explode.
She's like a Smurfette.
She is like a.
That's what
Smurf.
China is going to invent next. They're going to reinvent the Simon board, but they're going to have it explode
Exploding.
if you don't catch up to
Mike,
it.
save that shit for an awesome movie script. Okay.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, the exploding Simon game, and the kid has to solve it.
Yeah.
He has to solve it,
Other-
or the battleship that they're on is going to explode,
gonna explode.
in
Oh
the
my
Middle
God.
East, and then the oil will all go to the Iran.
Yep.
Yeah, I will
The
watch that
Iran.
movie. Yeah, the
Wow.
Iran. I will
I
watch that.
personally
quite a story.
believe
I will
that.
watch that movie. So Simon Hero, I will watch that. So all right, thank you very much, and that's it. We'll be back next week.
That's all for this episode of The Second Column. For more information, go to joedonatelli.com.